Thank you so much for allowing us into your space. My name is Patricia Lukoma. It is the 10th of November 2023, and UBC News Tonight is here to bring you what's making headlines. Now straight away into the bulletin. The Prime Minister Robina Nabanja and the special Japanese guest Fukuyo Nakamori have visited Nakasero Primary School to assess how the school will collaborate with the sister school in Japan to enhance learning and mutual benefit. While in Tokyo, Japan, last year to attend the Asia, Pacific and African Women Leaders Association Summit, Nabanja paid a courtesy visit to Misonokita Elementary School in Saint-Yama Prefecture in Japan, and later invited Nakamori to Uganda. Nakasero Primary School was selected by the First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni. Well, we will be bringing that story shortly. Now, a little bit into Parliament activities. The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Mong, has paid a visit to the sickly Member of Parliament for Kawempe North, Mohamed Segirinya, who is currently admitted in Nsambia Hospital. Speaker Mong has assured MP Segirinya of Parliament's support to aid his recovery from the long illness. MP Segirinya is battling liver complications, which is also affecting his memory, causing dementia. Segirinya returned recently from Netherlands, where he was receiving treatment, but his condition has since not stabilized. Anita Mong has debunked rumors that she gave birth from a private hospital outside Uganda, praising the private hospitals, which she says provide good health services. Mong says she gave birth from Kampala Hospital.
That's why I'm here. 2 days ago, I got a conspiration and I was rushed to Zambia Hospital so that I can get more advanced medication. So I pray to all Ugandans to pray for me so that I can get fine, because I came to serve, but because of the sickness, ever since I was elected, that's why it disturbs me a lot. The only problem why I have missed even the doctor's appointment, you have to take back the passport each and every time for checkup. Now when I turned it back from Amsterdam, then they have it, and it's a process to get that passport, and it's not a one-day process.
It is a continuation of the admission I had from abroad, and from what I saw and what I discussed with the medics, is in the process of recovery. All he needs is to eat more and take more of his medicine, and he will be fine. And as Parliament, we are going to continue supporting him. We will be checking on him, because he also needs the psychological support that we need to give him. We will give him all the support that he needs. The perception of people keeping going outside the hospital. We have a very good health care in Uganda. I was very amused when people were saying I was in South Africa, I gave birth from South Africa. I gave birth in Uganda, in a private hospital in Uganda. So why should we go there? We must live with what we have. For me, if you want, go to Kampala Hospital. That's where I gave birth from. And it's a very good hospital. Just like in Zambia, it's very good. We will always get what we want in this country.
Now, the Prime Minister, Robin Anabanja, and the special Japanese guest, Fukuyo Nakamori, have visited Nakasero Primary School to assess how the school will collaborate with the sister school in Japan to enhance learning and mutual benefit. While in Tokyo, Japan, last year to attend the Asia Pacific and African Women Leaders Association Summit, Nabanja paid a courtesy visit to Misonokita Elementary School in Sintiyama Prefecture in Japan, and later invited Nakamori to Uganda Nakasero Primary School, which was selected by the First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni.
During the visit to the school, Prime Minister Robin Anabanja with other ministers in the special guest inspected classrooms, kitchen, computer laboratory, backyard garden, and climaxed with an address to the pupils and the management of the school. Nabanja says that Nakamori is in Uganda to explore how Nakasero can pair with another school in Japan to enhance learning and exchange ideas.
You can see Japan and Uganda want to have an online interaction with one school in Uganda and another school in Japan. And Nakasero has been chosen.
Fukuyo Nakamori addressed the pupils, the school management committee members, ministers and other stakeholders, and promised that Nakasero will start benefiting from the pairing program.
This school, the Japanese school, online school-to-school exchange program.
However, the head teacher of Nakasero Primary School, Rogers Nambuli, and the chairperson, School Management Committee, Professor Gerald Karieja, briefed the Prime Minister and the team on titling of school land, inadequate facilities, and enrollment of over 2,226 pupils.
What we have on the record is that the current Vice President, when she was still Minister of Education, and supported by the permanent secretary then, they supported school and requested, after an order, that those erroneous titles be cancelled.
That in terms of access and inclusiveness, we are almost there, but as you note, a number of questions on quality needs to be addressed.
The Prime Minister shared the school that government will address the challenges. Responding to the issues raised by the school, Prime Minister Robina asked Uganda's communication commissions to extend the internet to the school.
They need to have CCTV cameras. This one I'm going to request the ADC to get in touch with police, because this can be done quickly. The CCTV cameras.
State Minister for Primary Education Joyce Kaduchu, who represented the Minister for Education, says that the ministry is implementing several reforms to help pupils get skills before completing primary.
One of the reforms is targeting the primary education. We are reviewing the curriculum that can meet the demands of 21st century.
The State Minister for Environment, Patricia Lukoma, and the State Minister for Local Government, Victoria Rusoke, implored pupils to protect the environment.
Don't litter. Whoever is cutting the trees, please report and say that is not wanted.
Please treasure our motto, work for progress.
The Prime Minister Nakamori planted fruit trees at Nakasero Primary School as one of the ways of encouraging the young children to protect the environment. She later met the First Lady and discussed about the forthcoming travel to Karamoja to assess ways of helping Karamoja.
Now, some school head teachers have committed to support examination instructors and invigilators and not to plead for any candidate who may be found involved in examination malpractice. The head teacher, Kololo High School, Hajat Aminabuyinza, says that some malpractices such as copying lead to the cancellation of the school UNEB center, hence cautioning candidates against any examination malpractice.
The timetable for Senior 6 candidates who are to sit their final UNEB examinations this year has started, with briefing in various schools across the country already taking place. The briefing exercise started early Friday morning, and candidates were taken through guidelines of conducting UNEB examinations, like keeping time and cooperating with invigilators, supervisors and scouts, plus avoiding examination malpractice.
Cheating is bad. At times, it can lead to cancellation of the center. And that one affects those people who are involved in cheating and those who are ignorant.
Made all the preparations. Special thanks go to the parents who have been able to pay for them school fees. And
I believe these students are going to perform well. We have prepared them for quite long.
One of the issues emphasized in the briefing is the use of random numbers. The head teacher, Kololo High School, Hajat Aminabuyinza, says candidates need to pay extra attention to the instructors to get the right numbers.
They get a random number, they feel it is that random number is the number which has to be used continuously on all papers. But I've cautioned them that they should wait for the chief invigilator to tell them the random number. They keep changing them.
Some candidates of Kololo High say they came in the briefing with panic and tension, while others expected to carry some materials like mathematical tables in the examination room, which Hajat Winza says is not allowed.
In the morning, like as of me, I was kind of nervous because I was like, hey, now this is the day like that has come. My first exam has been, it's now here. But the head teacher has really given us encouraging work.
As a school, I do believe, as the head teacher shall say, that we have the mathematical tables, and these tables are going to be provided by the school to every candidate who is going to be in need of them. I'm confident enough that I'm not going to find any problem when I'm doing my ICT paper.
She emphasized that the school is ready and has planned better for the candidates of ICT.
This time around, we registered students properly, and we have a group that is sitting for the first practical and another group that is sitting for the second practical.
At Progressive Secondary School, students were advised to be disciplined to ensure smooth conduct of the examinations.
We've been briefed about everything that we have to do, the do and don'ts in the examinations. We have been reading so hard, and we are sure, and we are very sure with faith we are going to make it.
Management has done us very well and very good. He has provided us whatever we need to finish up this level.
The school has prepared the students through providing all the necessary materials they need to pass the USCE examinations.
Discussions have been guided by the teachers. The learners have been very active, and they have always been asking whichever thing they have not understood. We believe they are going to make it.
Kololo High School Center has 137 candidates expected to sit the examinations. Progressive Secondary School has 97 candidates, while Vienna High School has 75 candidates. I'm Nafka Farida and Stephen Kalisya in Kampala.
Now, USCE examinations will commence on Monday next week, but briefing for candidates took place on Friday across the country. The main message from educationists is to the candidates and was to avoid examination malpractice. UBC visited Seta High Green Campus in Mukono Municipality, where over 130 UACE candidates had their briefing.
The 2023 USCE candidates across the country Friday had their pre-examination briefing from their teachers as they prepare to sit for their examinations on Monday next week in various schools, especially in Kampala Metropolitan. Despite the heavy downpour in the morning, the briefing of USCE candidates happened at Seta High. Green Campus in Mukono Municipality, over 100 candidates that registered to sit for the 2023 USCE examinations had their briefing, with the main message being to avoid examination malpractice. The candidates were cautioned against using names they didn't register with UNEB in PLE and UCE in order to avoid disruptions in future, especially during academic documents verification.
Ekigambo kiri nti gye bujjeeyo omwana ajja kwetaaga okubeera mu bintu bingi nnyo ng'omuntu omukulu oyinza okwerabira nti luli nakozesa kino luno nenkozesa kino y'ensonga lwaki sometimes ogenda okulaba abantu bangi nnyo babasika mu ofiisi gye bali nti si ggwe ali wano oba ffe tumanyi muntu mulala kyekikulu ky'amanyi.
Parents have also been encouraged to train their children during this long vacation in domestic work, vocational skills, and instill in them discipline and limit social media access. In a related development, the head teacher, King Fahad Islamic Primary School, Busega, Hajat Hanifa Narule, handed over the P7 candidates 2023 to their parents immediately after the PLE examinations. She commended the new curriculum that's aimed at training skills and innovations to the learners.
Okubanti abana afe bano bavudde mu curriculum enkadde bagenda kuyingira mu mpya, gavumenti ngisaba training abasomesa nnyo basobole okusomesa abaana baffe bulungi, era n'ensaba ebyetaagisa mu masomero babiteekemu, kubanga omwana asobola musomesa nga talina facility. So buli kyetaagisa kyonna mu ssomero bayambe, amasomero ga gavumenti babibawe n'aga private babasupporting basobole okubeera nabyo n'okubawa emisomo basobole okubanga curriculum empya bagitambuza kuba nnungi nnyo.
Sudat Kaye and Fred Kasibante.
And into court. Court of Appeal has ordered Mityana Municipality Legislator Francis Zake to file his response before the close of business Friday in an application filed by the Attorney General asking the court to stay the execution of the constitutional orders of reinstating Zake as Commissioner of Parliament.
After the 5 Constitutional Court justices quashed the Parliament's move of removing the Mityana Municipality Member of Parliament, Francis Zake, from the position of the Commissioner of Parliament, the Attorney General filed an appeal in Court of Appeal, challenging the decision. The Attorney General also filed an application saying the execution of the Constitutional Court orders, among others, reinstating Francis Zake as Commissioner of Parliament until the final execution of the appeal. Friday, the case resumed for conferencing before the Court of Appeal Registrar, Allen Lukundo Wembabazi in Kampala. The Attorney General's office, after confirming service of application to the respondent Francis Zake, the court ordered Zake to file his reply to the application before close of business today.
We should be ready in 2 weeks' time to urge these applications. But we have noted that our client is being harassed by merit-pronged proceedings. He's here in the court, and yesterday he was in Parliament. But one was in Parliament, and next week, but one will be in Parliament.
The Attorney General's office will make rejoinders, if any, on 13th November 2023, after which the case will be referred to the panel for hearing. In this application, the Attorney General wants court to issue an interim order restraining Francis Zake from being reinstated as Commissioner of Parliament, as well as resuming the office of Commissioner, alleging merit in the main appeal case before this court. Recently, Francis Zake, together with his legal team, stormed Parliament, attempting to enter his office in line of executing the Constitutional Court order. But all was in vain, since the office was under lock and key. Following his actions, the Attorney General's office described Zake's move as a threat to the application before court.
They don't want anything to do with the law. They don't want anything to do with the Constitutional Court orders. They don't want any lawyers to write to them. All they know is bullying everyone around, including members of Parliament, and gagging them and stopping them from speaking. But we are, of course, defying that nonsense because it is illegal and militates against freedom of expression.
Since the beginning of the 11th Parliament, Francis Zake has been in running battles inside and outside Parliament.
ne honorable Weraka yavayo Kinyamatama n'agamba Zaake talina kubeera mu parliament ng'atuukiriza kirere ky'abakulembeze ba parliament eyo ba speakers tinze Zaake tebanjagala mu parliament naye kiba kitegeeza nti omuntu yenna bw'oyogera amazima toyagalwa muntu yenna bw'oyogera amazima okuba kuyita kusiwuuka mpisa parliament yennyini yenkolako accusations ate era yo kennyini bw'ogigamba Zaake kiki kye mumuvunaana agakatunoonyereze tulabe musango ki Zaake gwe yaziiza. So bino ebintu bikyamu nnyo era tulwanyisa ebikolwa bino ebikyamu ebya parliament tugenda maaso nga tulwanirira ssemateeka yaffe.
Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Now, the Inspector General of Government, Betty Kamya, has issued a call to the public in the Teso sub-region to join forces in the fight against corruption. Kamya says tackling corruption requires raising awareness and involving the public in identifying and exposing suspects.
The Inspector General of Government, Betty Kamya, has set up camp in Soroti City following an invitation from the city mayor to investigate allegations of corruption in both the city and the district.
And the Inspector of Government is mandated under the law to deal with people who don't give good services to the public. And the public are advised to report those people to the Inspectorate of Government. Somebody, you are going to police, report a case, the policeman wants money. Those government services are free.
She urged residents of Teso to participate in the battle in eliminating corruption for better service delivery.
We need a mindset change so that people understand the relationship between them and corruption. If this man had not stolen money, there would be medicine in the hospital, and your loved one would not have died. That's why we must relate ourselves directly to corruption.
The visit garnered support from the technical and political wings of Soroti City and the district.
Because it touched us directly. We need a mindset change so that everybody gets involved in the war against corruption. And the first equipment we give you is to unmask corruption so that everybody can recognize corruption.
There was a recent report by the Inspectorate of Government showing annual government losses of close to 10 trillion due to corruption. In a meeting with Soroti district accounting officers, Kamya directed them to submit reports on the Myoga funds and procurement processes.
We have cases in court relating to land. Some cases we have lost. Some cases are pending. Some cases we are in the process of making payments as per the judgment. And it is a pleasure that, if possible, your office will take up some of these cases.
For me, in my sub-county, I have a land there which it also came to power. I was also produced, I was also born goat, right? That land belongs to them. But in the real action that the land nowadays, as I am speaking, is being owned by a certain person who came there in the form of he wanted a piece of a small land to actually do his farming, and now he has stayed there for almost 40 and above years.
The Inspector General's efforts in the region have been acknowledged by local leaders and the public, calling for a collective action in building a corruption-free community. Sudat Kaye and Joseph Okowu, UBC News.
Uganda Airlines CEO Jennifer Bamutaraki anticipates that the upcoming 55th African Airlines Association Annual General Assembly and Summit, slated to take place in Uganda this November, will delve into pressing issues within the aviation sector, particularly emphasizing sustainability. This includes discussions on aviation fuel advancements and the implementation of eco-friendly measures pivotal in the contemporary aviation landscape. As we hear more from Senono.
Regarded as the largest annual convergence of aviation professionals on the African continent, the Afra AGA is poised to draw over 500 delegates from diverse regions, fostering a collaborative discourse on initiatives aimed at developing the aviation sector on the African continent. Speaking at the sidelines of a partner launch event in Kampala, Uganda Airlines CEO and Afra President Jennifer Bamuturaki underscored the event's role in providing African airlines with a platform to collectively address the challenges and explore opportunities in their pursuit of sustainability.
In airlines, we are very keen about your aircraft and the carbon emissions and how that affects the environment. And those are some of the discussions that are going to happen. We're going to hear the new ways of environmental sustainability in terms of governance, sustainability in terms of human resources. A lot of the time we come together to discuss challenges we have in aviation, in airlines, and how we can help each other.
The SAF technology, although it's still in its early developmental phases, is said to hold promise of shaping a greener future for air travel. Another notable focal point of the summit will be the discussion on the Single Africa Air Transport Market Project, an initiative under the African Union aimed at augmenting connectivity across the African continent.
Issue of being able for airlines, African airlines, to work together and open their borders. Where there's open skies, liberalization. It depends on how the governments want to roll it out on the airlines. But as long as we sign, then we are able to fly, say, to Joburg and go to Cape Town, and we're picking and dropping between. Because we want to ease movement. And when you ease movement, prices are more affordable. Because if you look at Europe, interconnectivity within Europe is so cheap. So that's the kind of concept we'd like to bring.
The theme of the summit is Strides to Transform Aviation for Development and will run from the 19th to 21st of November 2023 at Speak Resort Munyonyo. Samuel Sendono, UBC News.
Now, the Minister for Justice and Constitution Affairs, Norbert Mao, has cautioned public officials against negligence and absconding from serving the public. Now, he was officiating at the 5th Annual Symposium on Business and Human Rights, where he said government has drawn the final action plan for human rights. Let's hear more in this report.
The Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, has disclosed increasing public outcry by the public towards bureaucratic tendency of accessing public offices for services. Mao was officiating at the 5th Annual Symposium on Business and Human Rights. Some citizens are not aware of their rights.
Why did you report me to the minister? Do you know I can frustrate your case? This is what goes on, and Ugandans are internally bleeding. Why can't we make complaining part of our culture? Citizens are suffering so much, yet we have the Republic of Uganda with a national anthem, with a flag. We have got the glorious UPDF projecting power all over Africa. So why should somebody who simply wants an abusive employer to be held to account have to go to that ministry for 2 years?
The Uganda Human Rights Commission is challenged with underfunding and limited information to respond to the public outcry.
Cases have had a negative impact on the enjoyment of human rights. These include, but are not limited to, underpayment, child labor, compensation issues and land conflicts, displacement of people, environmental pollution, and violation of cultural rights. We execute our mandate. I take this opportunity to urge the government to adequately fund the Commission.
Stakeholders in the field of human rights protection want a review in the investment decisions to include communities affected. Investors are accused of violating human rights on grounds of offering jobs.
One is to make sure that, for example, one of the provisions
is that there should be community development agreements. We want to see clear regulations on community development agreements where communities sit on a round table with these companies and negotiate on the kind of projects that these companies should support. Cases have been registered with the Uganda Human Rights Commission, as you have heard from the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. But people are working with those letters. Tribunals are not sitting. Why? Because the Uganda Human Rights Commission is not well capacitated. They don't have sufficient resources to ensure that these tribunals sit. Then two, the labor officers in the districts. This is an office that should be handling these issues. But right now we realize that the labor officers, even they don't have the means of transport.
Now that was about business and human rights. Now in other stories, parents have been advised to watch over their children to keep track of the norms and discipline instilled in them while at school. This message was conveyed to them by the head teacher of Holmes Darlin Primary School, Kamocha Best Branch, as he flagged off the 2023 primary candidates for their holidays after sitting for their final exams.
It is a common belief among learners to celebrate after completion of exams. Such was the experience among P7 candidates of Holmes Darlin Primary School, Kamocha, as they waited to embrace the holidays after their last UNEB paper. The candidates shared their expectations from the recently completed examinations.
As it is, daily papers, they are not that hard, but good just to remember, read a question, interpret, and leave the rest to God. Every child wants to get up for. So, what God brings is what I do got to do. I attribute it to my father, obviously. That's my mom.
These PLE papers are written. Actually, it has been most of a primary pupil's dream to write this examination. So I had kinda excited, but then you feel scared because you don't want to fail. Yeah, but then you're very thrilled to live this level of education, and I'm so grateful to God that we have made it through.
Godfrey Chimbugwe, the head teacher Holmes Darlin Primary School, Kamocha, advised the candidates to utilize knowledge attained at school.
We thank everybody that has put in the efforts, the parents, the teachers, the children themselves. They have done a lot to make sure that they post good results come next year. My message to them, it is to continue clinging on our values that we have instilled in them all this period.
Chimbugwe also urged the parents to take good care of the children.
We encourage parents to carry on, to further what we have imparted in these children, so that our values, they don't lose our values that we have given them. They are going for a very long holiday of about 3 months. That period, if it is not well monitored, if it is not well controlled, the children can actually miss out on a lot of things.
The school offered each candidate a souvenir magazine in memory of their stay at the Learning Center. I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
And now in the area of refugees, a land user agreement initiative between refugees and landlords in Terego district has mitigated conflicts arising from the refugees who are privately seeking land for cultivation beyond the OPM allocations. It is facilitated by the Norwegian Refugee Council, NRC, in collaboration and the Office of the Prime Minister.
Often faced eviction due to verbal agreements they make, which lack legal binding, leading to disputes when others offer more money for the same piece of land.
Sometimes you can go to those hosting community to rent the land. Somebody will come buy you. If you come with the little man, just like 50,000, no, you leave that man. I have 70,000. Have you seen? They will come and overtake you.
The Norwegian Refugee Council project has legalized tenancy agreements to benefit farmer groups in Bidibidi and Imvepi refugee camps.
The Norwegian Refugee Council, with funding from the German Federal Foreign Office, came up with an all-inclusive program that encompasses aspects to do with information, counseling and legal aid, together with livelihoods. Something under NRC that we call ICLA. We are working to see to it that we prevent forced evictions. So once there's an agreement in place and you've fully made sure that both parties understand what they are writing and what they are agreeing to, we take away that aspect of conflict.
Refugees and locals say the agreement provide a clear framework for land use.
Issues of land conflict in the community, they are rampant. So with that help from NRC, in the agreement, we are going to have that land for 3 years.
Without this agreement letter, nothing will happen.
The OPM's allocation of 30 by 30 meters of land for settlement, also used for agriculture, proves insufficient, making the legal agreements crucial in promoting peaceful coexistence between refugees and host communities.
But the refugees go ahead at times when it comes to land for agriculture, to get this land for agriculture without involving OPM. And this has come with a lot of challenges. And there are different landlords. So a refugee may deal with one person, another person comes and says, this is my land. So, however, we are glad that certain partners like NRC have come up with the different programs that help in reducing these challenges.
Joseph Odama, UBC News.
We are glad that you're still allowing us into your space. Thank you so much. For now, we're going to take a short break, but do not go away. We'll return with more news.
Metu Bus Industries, Namamve, the manufacturers of buses for transporters, schools, tour operators, and special purpose vans and any customized vehicle. Metu Bus Industries offers a range of buses known for safety, comfort, and reliability. Depending on your needs, a bus can simply be a point A to point B people mover with just seats, or a special design that includes power outlet, Wi-Fi, television, refreshment center, and any other specification. Buy your buses from Metu and support industrialization of Uganda. Contact us on 0788 118586 or 0782 030303. Email us metuafricabus@gmail.com. Visit our website www.metubusafrica.com.
Jovia ng'oyolekera ku lugendo luno olw'obulamu nkuwa ekirabo eky'amaanyi agatazizibwa, amaanyi okulabibwa n'okuwulirwa mu mawanga ag'ewala ennyo, okutuuka buli wamu nga yadde togenzeeyo, ensi yonna ng'ekuli mu ngalo. Okutambula mu biseera n'okumanya buli kimu ekirina okumanyibwa. Jovia, kino kye kirabo kyange gy'oli.
Tewali kkubo ku ki gy'osobola okukola ku mukutu nnandameggwa ogwa MTN.
In this family, we can't agree on anything. Martha. We can't even agree on what to watch. All the games to play. Martha. Ndoza Mulabi, we can't even agree on what to eat. At least the one thing for now we can all agree on is the soap to use. He likes that it's big and lasts long. Anti-economy. I like that it keeps my skin smooth. Ate Alina Echovu. And the children like that. It smells amazing. amazing. Everyone is happy. Movit soap comes in 4 fantastic flavors. Movit family soap is truly soap for the whole family.
Movit. All day confidence.
Sebo.
Yes?
This is the bill.
What?
Malaria testing, 10,000. Treatment, 100,000 since we put on drip.
Hey, Musao, can you read this for me? Before I brought my wife here, I'd already spent money on buying herbal medicine and drugs from the pharmacy, which didn't work.
But Sebo, the government gave out mosquito nets. Doesn't your family use them?
We got the mosquito nets, but they got holes and we didn't know what to do.
Protect your loved ones from malaria. Sew your mosquito nets whenever they get damaged to keep the mosquitoes away. Ensure all nets are tied up every morning to avoid damaging them. Ensure that everyone in your family sleeps under a treated mosquito net every night, whether it is a cold or hot season. Together, we can chase malaria out of Uganda. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Global Fund.
No malaria will catch.
Lagos.
Tukanga kuba omuntu nti nigasita ndala mukaaga itaano sita isatu ash onige yes
nga oba kubuza machanti
nga bamubuza machanti code nga tumukobata mu 7 bino olumalirizawo ngatamwe sente dali kuwayo kumbaga ya mwenemu sawa yeneyo nga kyabazinga amwebaza nga tweyongere kai tujja mu kyalo ekindi
ekikoba embaga olunawa luti nga mwira
tulija kumala kai tweyongere emyezi mukaaga nga tukasomesa abantu momope
baba embaga ya mwenemu eriyo nga 18 kai emyezi omukaaga gyoli kwongeramu ojaji
oyidine ebya momope abantu yembiche yona bandeta momo ono ne bibali kumpaka ne bya momo pa bidi tyama kupikipiki ojo bisomesa
beka muleke musoni we tyamaja
baba tuka bulungi
simbule embalasi asumulude
momo nyabo.
Pay or shop with MTN Momo and get cashback every week. It's free of charge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Welcome back. And as we step into the world of business, a Ugandan delegation led by the first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East Africa Community Affairs, Rebecca Kadaga, has met their Kenyan counterparts at the Busia one-stop border point in Uganda. The two teams were touring the two border points to ascertain the challenges hindering the smooth trade at the border. Let's hear more in this report.
Government of Uganda and that of Kenya have identified a number of challenges impeding the smooth running of trade at the two border points in Busia. These, among others, include scanners for trucks, a few border points, traffic along the customs road, and exchange barriers.
We have been told that the scanners have been few, they cause delays, so we're going to find solutions on the issue of those scanners so that business can move much faster. We have also understood how much time it takes for a citizen to just move through the immigration posts, the health port, then the Kenya side, then the Uganda side. Then by the time they finish, they have taken a lot of time. So we are going to work together to ensure that those time is reduced to enable people to move freely.
During the tour of the two border points, the First Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East Africa Community Affairs, Rebecca Kadaga, met the Kenyan delegation led by the Cabinet Secretary for East Africa Community, Penina Malonza.
But also to also beef up on the other agenda that we've discussed is opening of other entry points, other border points. And I think we are in agreement that Rwanda has overstayed for some time, and so we're going to fast track that. Uganda has agreed that they're going to fast track on their side to gazette, because on our side Kenya has already gazetted, and therefore we're going to fast track the Rwanda and Buteba.
Ministers Rebecca Kadaga and Penina Malonza concur that the agreement made between the two countries is to steer development of the two economies. This is in regards to present trade and payments position to undertake more scanners for expansion of trade between the two countries on the basis of mutual advantage.
We have come to assess the impact of the customs union. As you know, Uganda and Kenya started this relationship in 1917. So what we are doing is to cement the old relations, improve relations, see new strategies so that we remain together.
The two governments shall facilitate imports from the exports to each other's territories to the extent permitted by their respective laws, regulations, and procedures.
Now, Private Sector Foundation Uganda and the MasterCard Foundation have facilitated a creation of over 5,000 dignified jobs for Uganda's youth through the Newman Foods Limited. The two entities commit to offer more support to businesses that have a potential scale-up and create a much-desired jobs for Ugandans.
Officials from the Private Sector Foundation Uganda have toured the Newman Foods Limited factory in Akauka to familiarize with its operations. Newman Foods Limited story began in 2017 from a rented house in Machindie, a Kampala suburb. It primarily focused on exporting fresh foods and vegetables to various European countries. Newman is one of the companies that have beaten the odds after being supported to scale up by PSFU and MasterCard Foundation.
We have expanded, and then that means, of course, bigger capacity. We've been able to produce more. Everything that the country can now consume was because of the expansion. Because before we would want to produce more products, but we didn't have space. So because of PSFU and MasterCard supporting us, we've been able to put up the state-of-the-art facility. We've been able to employ very many youth. We started with about 50, moved to 70, we moved to 100, 200, and now we're able to employ close to 500 people.
We had a target of reaching 5,220 young people, 70% young women in the 7 districts, Soro in Western Uganda and 6 districts in Central Uganda, in the horticulture value chain. He's dealing a lot of things in the horticulture value chain. So far in 1 year and 10 months, he has reached all the young people. With even excess of 200, he has reached around 5,400 young people, with around 65% young women.
Damali Sali, the Chief Programs Officer at PSFU, says the supporters help the company improve its production as well as expand job opportunities for the youth.
So we supported them to expand their outgrowers. As you know, Newman's is producing crisps, which are made from potatoes. They're producing kamulali, which is made from chili. So they needed people who can grow these potatoes, the chili, the pumpkins, so that they can then be able to produce these products. So what we did was to support them to expand or mobilize young people to grow what they need to be able to manufacture what they need to manufacture. So that's mostly where our support was.
The ultimate goal for PSFU's Lead Farm Structure project is to create dignified and fulfilling work for young women and men. Since its launch in 2019, it has so far mobilized 137,077 Ugandan youth and managed to transit over 100,000 youth into meaningful and dignified work. It has a goal of creating at least 300,000 jobs by 2025. Dennis Igor for UBC News.
And still in business, compensation of the East African crude oil pipeline EACOP project affected persons has reached 90% on the Ugandan side. According to the Community Relations Coordinator EACOP, Fred Bazara, Uganda has 2,073 project-affected persons, out of which over 90% of them have already signed the compensation agreement.
The East African crude oil pipeline passes through over 5 districts in Bunyoro region, including Hoima, Chikube, Kakumiro, Mubende, and Sembabule, where some people were affected. During the tour of the pipeline, the Community Relations Coordinator EACOP, Fred Bazara, said that over 90% project-affected persons have already been compensated and new houses have already been built for over 170 pups and others compensated with cash.
Session payment is at 90% for project-affected persons.
He noted that before the end of this year, the coverage of compensation will be at 95%, and by the next financial year, the compensation of all pups will be at 100%.
And we are at 98% of compensation agreement signing.
EACOP Project Construction Manager Ahmed Arafat says the construction of Camp 1 in Kabale Hoima is underway, with construction of other camps for the workers expected to continue.
Closing our activities, we are almost 95% completion. On the other side here, we have pumping station number 1.
The EACOP environmental specialist Joseph Mukasa says the project considers wetlands and forests during execution.
The environment team goes ahead to establish the conditions of the site, what is there, and then with the engineering team, we plan how we're going to cross that point.
During the tour, UBC talked to some of the project-affected persons from the districts of Kakumiro, Mubende, and Sembabule. The tour was in the districts of Hoima, Chikube, Kakumiro, Mubende, and Sembabule.
Well, it's time for us to take another short break and return with those sports news.
I wish you maintain that same effort to protect you and your family from that very dangerous ship that attacks you every night. And if you don't take action soon, it may cost your life or even your pregnant wife to lose her baby.
Wapi, with all these original padlocks and my maguja, no thief can make an attempt to break in.
Simon, you and your wife are always in and out of the hospital almost every month. And there is that dangerous thief that you are not yet safe from. You're lucky that for now, it's only robbing you money.
Malaria is a thief. Don't let it rob you and your loved ones. Prevent it by sleeping under a mosquito net every night. For pregnant women, go for antenatal care and get your Fancida medicine to protect you and your unborn baby from malaria.
Are you passionate about a healthy living and wealth generation for your household? Learn how you can easily tap wealth and health from Mother Nature using science and technology. Omukenkufu Nyanzi Julius Echuma Chuagala Chuma has written a knowledge-packed book, Money Grows on Trees, Sente Zimera Committee. Grab your copy today at 20,000 shillings only at Prof Bioresearch Equatorial Mall, Aristoc Booklex branches, Acacia Mall, Garden City, Kampala Road, and Jumia, Uganda. Or call Call 0703 152 152 for deliveries. Remember, money grows on trees. Sente Zimera Committee book is autographed by Omukenku Funyanzi Julius himself.
African Airline Association, in conjunction with Uganda Airlines, presents the 55th AFRA Annual General Assembly between the 19th and 21st November 2023 at Speak Resort Hotel, Munyonyo, in the heart of Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. In attendance will be 500 high-profile African and global aviation leaders, 40 airline CEOs making strides to transform aviation for development. The 55th AFRA AGA is proudly powered by
Welcome back. Now we step into the world of sports, where Uganda Kabaddi Federation has continued to grow numbers with the launch of a club at Dream Africa Schools Network in Mbalwa.
Kabaddi sport in Uganda is a relatively new phenomenon that has hardly existed for more than 5 years. Despite that, the sport is mainly prominent in Asia, having started many years ago in India and has gained popularity in Uganda.
As a federation, we are trying to spread the sport as big as we can, and from all levels, all structures, from the grassroots to development levels. Yeah, and as a federation, we are doing our best to make partnerships with the different institutions, schools like Dream Africa School, to have a continuity of Kabaddi sport.
What the Uganda Kabaddi Federation actually did was identifying schools as key partners for the sport that is played between two teams of 7 players each.
So we are happy to be the part of this Kabaddi championship.
The latest institution that the Federation has brought on board is Dream Africa Schools Network in Mbalwa. The Kabaddi sports launch and exhibition at Dream Africa Schools coincided with the laying of the foundation stone for a sports complex.
So sports is one of the things we want to promote at our schools because we are looking at a holistic child. Yeah, and Kabaddi is very core to our heart because it comes from my own roots. And Kabaddi Federation of Uganda has been doing some great work. Yeah, so this is the first launch of this event, and we also want to build a sports complex where the Kabaddi Federation and other sports can come and practice and make this their home. One of the reasons we are talking about the sports in general is because we are looking at a 21st century child who needs to be not only good at maths and sciences, but also at physical activity, trying to explore the new world.
The wider appeal from Dream Africa Schools Network in Mbalwa is preparing children with the ability to express, explore and problem solve in the 21st century. Abiona Francisco, UBC.
Now that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for joining us and allowing us into your space. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango from the entire news team. Stay tuned.
Welcome once again to the weather report. I'm Jasper Ainebiuna. Today, several parts of the country in the morning had sunny intervals coupled with light isolated thunder showers, especially around Lake Victoria Basin and also in some parts of West Nile. Later in the afternoon, these conditions continued where sunny intervals and light isolated thunder showers prevailed, especially in the southern sector. Having a look at the satellite image taken over Africa today, we have advection of the Congo air mass together with the local effects from Lake Victoria Basin, and this will contribute to wet activities tomorrow. We are forecasting light isolated thunder showers around Masaka. The rest sunny intervals will prevail. Eastern parts of the country, these conditions will not change a lot. Still, we are forecasting sunny intervals that are likely to dominate. Western parts of the country, still sunny intervals are likely to dominate the entire region. Northern sector, these conditions are still the same, sunny intervals to prevail. When we go on in the afternoon, we are forecasting a high of 28 degrees Celsius in our capital city, Kampala, with sunny intervals, and in Masaka 28 also, while in Mbendi 29 degrees Celsius with light thunder rains. Nakasongola 31 degrees Celsius. Going on to the eastern parts of the country, we are still forecasting a high of 30 degrees Celsius around Jinja, and in Toro also light rains are expected with a high in Soti 32 degrees Celsius, sunny intervals. Western parts of the country, afternoon we are forecasting a high of 24 degrees Celsius in Kabale with light isolated thunder showers, as well as in Barara also light isolated thunder showers are expected, while Masindi light rains with a high of 30 degrees Celsius. When we go on still in the northern parts of the country, most parts they are likely to have sunny intervals with temperatures ranging from 31 degrees to 32 degrees Celsius. World cities, we are anticipating sunny intervals around Kailu with a high of 29 degrees Celsius, and in London sunny intervals with a high of 10 degrees Celsius, which is very cold there. Thank you so much for watching the weather forecast. For more information, our website is open for everyone. Good evening.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.